Hey everyone, this is Chanelle. Welcome. This is our weekly conversation. When close is a wee bit too close. The idea being that for those of us who are finding the stay at home, stay safe order a little bit, I don't know what's the word, too close for comfort, where we're all kind of stuck at home together, and what we can do to make sure that our relationships, our loving relationships, survive this. I think the lighting is a little bit rough, so I'm just going to turn a bit for a minute. There we go. I had planned to have this video outside, but we are having a nice blustery, windy day. And when I went outside, not only was my hair like turning into Medusa hair, but it was just really windy and really cold. It's about 40 degrees outside. So I decided to come back in. I hope you can all hear me okay. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Chanelle Carlin, and I am a professional wedding officiant and coach based up in Okanagan, Washington, in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. And we, like everybody else, are under, or like a lot of people around the world, are under a stay-at-home, stay-safe order imposed by the governor of the state of Washington. And it's totally not convenient for us, but we understand the reasoning behind it. So we're doing our best to stay home, be loving with each other and kind to each other, and also, at times give each other the space that we need. We, however, live in a fairly big old farmhouse, and right around our house we have 36 acres, and not everyone is as fortunate to have that much space, and I know that. And in fact, I've heard from a few of my couples who are preparing to get married this year that not only is the stress of not knowing to be able to have their weddings later in the year, but just the working from home, being at home, being home together 24 hours a day is providing and putting them under some stress. So I thought it would actually be good to maybe have a conversation and come here and just chat about that and really give you some tips to help survive this time, because this time will pass. This time that we are being asked to stay at home and to really kind of hunker down, this time will pass. And we will get to go out again. We will get to, our couples will get married again. People will get to go out to restaurants and have lovely dinners, go visit their family, hang out with their friends. We'll be able to go to the beaches again. We'll be able to go hiking and have 50 or 100 people on the trail. We will get to do all of those things. It's just at the moment, we don't get to. It's a bit rough. And for with your fiance, your children, and finding it a little bit tough, I just thought we could come together and have a little conversation. That's where this came from. So I just would like to invite you to share these videos and invite anyone you think would find it helpful to come and take part. So I plan to be here each Wednesday over the next few weeks at 9:45 in the morning Pacific time. And we'll just be here. And if you have comments or questions, let me know. I'll be happy to, I probably won't be able to talk about them during the video, but afterwards, I'm happy to comment and respond in any way that would be helpful. So for today's topic, I took some notes because I didn't want to forget anything important. Survival tip number 1, make sure you have a healthy relationship with people that you're living with. And we're going to talk about what that looks like. But we're going to 5 signs of a really healthy relationship. And along with that comes some of what are the things that are not so healthy that sometimes folks can tend to do that we want to watch out for. So, healthy relationship. So you're equals. You treat each other as equals, and you treat each other with respect. There's no one in your relationship. And I'm going to talk a lot about couples, but this really works for whether you're already married, whether you're roommates, and even when you have children, and although there's a different dynamic with parents and children that I want to be conscious of. But particularly when you are a loving couple that is sharing space and you're there with each other all the time, you really want to respect each other as equals. Compromise has to go both ways. It's really, we always say that we know that, but sometimes that can be tough, especially if you feel like you're giving up a lot of your space and your time, and you don't always feel like somebody else is, or you just don't feel like you're getting the space that you would normally have. Because let's really just say it. We're able to go get our hair done. We're used to being able to go with friends or go out to a restaurant. We're used forward to fun things, and you're exciting things, and now you're home with each other all the time. So those things that you would normally look forward to, you want to be careful that they don't become mundane. Okay, so compromise happens. You need to respond to each other's input and respond kindly, right? And graciously. You want to be able to have those conversations, and it's really important. That will bring us to the next one, which is open communication, open and honest communication. But be gracious with each other. Recognize that you're both under a bit of pressure, but that you love each other. Whether you're planning to get married, and there's a reason to your lives together. And staying at home together all the time is a huge test. We talk about long all the where you're stuck. They're great tests of your relationship. So you want to treat each other and kindness, and have open and honest communication. And open and honest, really even being able to talk about everyday stuff. But the 3 F's: finances, family, and your future. So that's really, if you can't talk about those things with your loved one, then you might be having some difficulty with open and honest. To be able to address, any it's feeling, but they need to be able to share it in a gracious, kind, and loving way. And hopefully the other person can hear it and receive that information without defensiveness, and just recognizing that you're both kind of in the same boat. Another sign of a healthy relationship is that you support each other's goals. Short-term goals, long-term goals, goals for the future, career goals, aspirations for a home where you'd like to live. If you don't both want to live on a lake in the future and have a boat, that could be a little difficult. Travel the world and see all the exciting places that there are, and the other one of you really just wants to stay close to home. That might make things a little more difficult. My cat's also going a little stir crazy. He's knocking things off the counter. Sorry about that. So you're going to support each other's goals. So the 3 signs so far of a healthy relationship are treating each other as equals, open and honest communication, that I would add to should be kind and gracious and loving, each other's goals. And you wouldn't do that without judging somebody else's goals, right? Just because they might not be exactly the same doesn't mean you can't be persuaded to come around to it, right? All right, so mutual respect is really a key. You love this person. You want to share your space with them. You want to share your life with them. Having mutual respect is really, really important. And if you don't have that in your relationship at the moment, you might want to consider that your relationship isn't as healthy as you would like it to be. And that's a different conversation, and we can have that conversation later. That's not the conversation for today. But and you treat each other with respect. You have open and honest communication. You support each other's goals, and you're both accountable and responsible. So one of the things that sometimes drives each other is this all the time. What's the one thing you could change about this person? If you could, recognizing that you're not able to change another person. All we can ever do is work on ourselves. And it's a question that I ask because as couples are getting ready to marry each other, it's really important to think about all the wonderful things you love about this person, things that are you can actually look past. And then if you share them out loud with one another, maybe they're not aware that drives you crazy. Or maybe they are, but they're not aware. So again, this is part of that open and honest communication. But sometimes folks don't take that responsibility as important as they should in a healthy relationship. So can you depend on one another? Do you do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it? And it can be little things, I'm going to get to that project, fix the lock on the door next week. I'm going to, clean out the car next week. I'm going to make sure that if I've said I'm going to fix your favorite dinner because it's your birthday, I'm not just going to say I'm going to do it, but I'm actually going to do it. Are you responsible and accountable to each other? And those are just silly little things, but if you can do the small things reliably, then you're more likely to do the big things reliably. Are you able to call each other out when we make mistakes, but to call each other out in a loving manner, being tactful? But really what it comes down to is, when you're being accountable and responsible to each other, you're being the best version of yourself and for the people that you love. So those are it. You want to make sure that, I'll talk about some of the things that are warning signs, but these are really the 5 signs of a healthy relationship. You're both equals in the relationship. You can have conversation, you can compromise, you're mindful of each other's needs and wants. And a lot of times that comes down to just some breathing room and some space, right? You have mutual respect, as I said, open and honest communication. You support each other's goals, and you're accountable and reliable and responsible for each other and to each other. And those are really, if you have those things, you have and you can be confident that you're going to be able to weather this storm, as you will, this stay at home, stay safe order where you're spending almost 24 hours a day with each other, and your only, escape from the close proximity to the other people in your life is if you can go out and go for a walk and stand 6 feet apart from anybody else that you see. I'm making light of this in this conversation, not because it's not a serious situation, but because this is difficult for a lot of folks. And, but we're all in it together. We will get past it. We all will get past to the point where we can go out again and we can be social again in person. We won't have to just do it via technology. But just got to hang in there. And if you have these elements in your relationship, if you have open and honest communication, if you have mutual respect for one another, if you are treating each other as equals, if you support each other, reliable, and you're responsible and you're accountable to each other, then you have a healthy relationship and your relationship will weather this storm. Likes in the hearts, I appreciate you guys. And I get focus a lot on this is if you don't have these things, if there's fear in if you're conversation with your partner that maybe isn't so healthy, if you're feeling like they just don't they don't hear what you need to say or about your relationship with this other person, maybe it's not. And what I would say is if you want to private message me if you have questions, then right. So any questions at the moment, any thoughts, any ideas, I would love to hear. I would love to hear whether you have any for a topic for next week. I have some ideas and I'll share them short of anything being shared with me that you would like to hear. And I am grateful for your time. I would just ask that you guys, this too shall pass. We will get through this and know that you are not alone. If you're defining it so that you're with each other, please know that you are not all in the same. Of us have a little bit bigger space, and I'm thankful for that. But even today, I had to ask my husband to be quiet and go downstairs in order to do my video, because I would normally go outside. But as I said, the wind was a little crazy. You know, we're kind of all in that space. So I appreciate you. Just know that. And I'm grateful for you being here. And if you have anybody that you think would benefit from, you know, kind of talking about some of those tougher topics, let me know. You can invite them, and we'd be happy to share with them. All right, so I'm delighted to see you. Thank you for joining me. And I will be here again next Wednesday morning at 9:45 Pacific time. And I would love to see you if you're available to join us. And again, we're just talking about, you know, when close is a little bit too close, some relationship survival techniques for getting through the stay-at-home, stay-safe orders that we're all living under at the moment as a result of this COVID-19 virus. All right, my friends, thank you for joining me. Take care. And I will see you again. If I don't see you before, I'll see you at least next Wednesday. Okay, see ya. Bye.